What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. It's Savywavy here, beside my lovely co-host that her name's not Kelsey, it's weirdly Keltie.
Yeah, you've heard that now when we've ordered, hey?
Canadian. Hey? Yes, I have. But what is Keltie? It's Irish, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna get this wrong, but like the Megan of Ireland, like it's a super common Irish name. But yeah, so because the common thing is, and like it's just like my default right away. I'm like, what's your name, Keltie? Kelsey? No, Keltie. I know it's weird. Just to make people, because like people always feel so bad. They're always like, Kelsey. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Like, I'm not offended. Literally every single person gets it wrong, especially if there's any bit of noise, like at the bar. So you're saying, what's your name, Kelsey? The amount of times I've been in this exact situation. Guy comes up to you, just a friend, anything. What's your name, Kelsey? Start shaking your hand. Kelsey? No, Keltie. Chelsea. No, Keltie. Kelly? And then they suddenly just start saying any name. And then I literally have to go Keltie. Or I say T. And
like
then, and like you have to say it so obnoxiously because the T and the C is like so close. So I've lived my whole life to the point that I usually just go by Kelsey.
So when you go, is it common in Europe? I've never heard the name.
Only Ireland. Literally, like.
Have you been to Ireland?
No, I've never been to Ireland.
Oh, dang.
But it's like super Keltie O'Connor. It's as Irish as it gets. And technically, I think they spell it like with a C. And like the IE is the Irish way. Like the American way is like Kelty. The Keltie is like the hybrid North American way because it would be with a C. But my mom didn't want to inflict upon me going as Celty the rest of my life. Yeah. So she made the K.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, hi.
Yeah, long-worded.
I've wondered that for a while now. We thought it'd be fun to do this episode of Hit It or Quit It. And basically, we are just talking about everything we love or we like, and it could be lifestyle, it could be drinks, it could be wellness, it could be anything. But we both did our own like little 10 hit or quit it's that are like applicable to each other and get the response.
Yeah, we've done it to our guests, and now I thought, let's inflict it upon ourselves. It's kind of like hot or not, but hitting the bar style. So let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Rapid fire, but not.
Okay.
Let's go. Do you want to hit it?
Hit it or quit it, tequila cocktails that aren't margaritas.
Oh, hit it. Hit it up. Every cocktail should be a tequila.
I didn't know if you were like picky about that.
No. Espresso martini, tequila. Gin and tonic, take out the gin, tequila.
What was that drink Nona had at my wedding that was like, I think it was tequila she was raving about it.
Oh yeah, it was
espresso martini, but not.
Yeah, it was like an espresso martini, but it was a specific like a Mexican liqueur. So you could only get in Mexico.
Yes.
So it's kind of like we have Kahlua. That's how we put it, but they had their own like Mexican take on Kahlua, and it's like I think the base was tequila instead of vodka. But yeah, no, I'm like if there's a hard alcohol in the drink, replace it and put tequila in.
Okay.
Even like I said, I'd put like even milk beverages, put the tequila. Espresso martini with tequila sounds
pretty good.
It sounds crazy, and right now if you haven't had one, you're like disgusting. Delicious. If it's good tequila.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, CrossFit.
I used to hit it.
That's why I was like, interesting.
I think it's really good to learn how to lift. And I think the community is really awesome. And it shows you a non-conventional way to work out because a lot of like group fitness classes are like dumbbells, more light, free weight focused, where CrossFit is like kind of intense. But I have to quit it because I'm just like not at that stage in my life anymore.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. I knew you started with CrossFit, but I haven't heard you mention it. So
I did go to one in Puerto Rico, and I had a good time. But I was having like flashbacks of it in college and just being like, no, I'm just a solo workout girl.
Love it. Respect.
Yeah. Okay. With that being said, in workout classes, franchise workouts like F45 where they're almost like mom and pop shops because like they're not all the same, like they're ran differently.
Yeah.
Hit it or quit it.
So you're specifically saying franchises like the F45's the Orange Series, they're owned by different people?
Yes, they're not consistent.
So a franchise brand name.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, hit it. I think like depends on the franchise. It is like,
I was gonna say,
because the one nice thing about if it's corporate owned, like berries, you know what you're getting.
I was
like,
just
each time
gonna say that.
now, or mom and pop shop, you're always supported, and you kind of know, and you get a good deal. But the F45s and Orange Theory, it's so polarizing. Like, Orange Theory specifically, the Orange Theories in some places are like the worst experience. And then other people are like, it's pretty much berries. I'm like, true. F45s I love, but occasionally you'll go to one and you're like, oh, this is a cult. And so, you know what, it's the inconsistent, so I'm going to say quit it.
Okay.
Because it's kind of inconsistent.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Juice cleanse.
Oh my God, quit it. Quit it. Cut it out. From Full House. Yeah. If you don't remember.
Yeah,
90s kid. Never was into juice cleanses. Mostly because I don't have the willpower to do that. I could never diet / do anything like that. I just like food too much. But I do think juice cleanses are so toxic for like not only your mindset, but also there's so many studies about like how potentially harmful it can be, / there's a lot of added sugar. I mean, think about those green juices that taste really good because they're sweet and appley, the amount of sugar that's in an apple. I think do whatever you want at the end of the day, but like it's not going to make you lose weight. Like I remember we got back from the wedding and Michael's mom called me up and was like, I'm going to do a juice cleanse. What do you recommend? And I was like, don't do the juice cleanse. That's what I recommend. But she just like bought random green juice from Costco and I don't even think she lasted a day. But yeah, quit it.
Yeah, I could go on. I personally think of all the fasting cleanse things, juice cleanse has to be the physically hardest with the least amount of benefits. But that's a whole insulin spiking fasting topic I won't get into. But I'm like,
yeah,
no.
With that being said, my next one is fasting.
Ooh. Okay, that works out because I might expand more on the juice cleanse now. Because so fasting, I think there is a lot of science out about the benefits of it in the sense that it depends on you. If you're someone who has an eating disorder, who has struggled with just like learning to love food and feel your body, not for you. If you're someone who has the opposite that needs to learn to, you know what I mean, not constantly have to eat or like, you know what I mean, they might be like, I'm not saying binge eating, you should go to fasting. Like this is very complicated. I was like, but maybe you should learn to just be at peace with yourself and just like enjoying where boredom is and giving your gut a reset. Now, like Sasha Panda from Stanford, I believe it is, he's like kind of the leading researcher on it. And he's even saying like, it's not as concrete. Like people like the 16-8 and all this. It can literally just be 12 hours. Seems to sometimes be enough. And it's not that, it's like just give your stomach time to digest, and like it can help balance your insulin levels. And like I think a lot of us just get bored and this dopamine hits, and there's some religious aspect to fasting, like all religions do it. So I think there can be benefits of just being at peace, and you'll be okay if you don't eat. And like doesn't mean eating's the devil or anything like that, but like just come to terms with like, oh, I'll push it a little longer and make a nice meal. It's not like, oh my God, it's 2:00 and bit more. I will say eating at the same time every day does help with digestion, so that can be beneficial, especially with jet lag. And there's little things like, I'll go back to the juice cleanse now that I have my talk. I've never understood juice cleanses and those kind of things, because all you're doing is just removing the fiber, which helps slowly digest it, make you fuller longer, and all you're doing is the sugar, which will just spike your glucose and insulin levels, which makes you hungry. So I'm like, why would you just only consume things that spike your insulin level while you're trying to fast? I was like, at least a bone broth. I'm not promoting it, but I'm just saying that at least I think you could do it. You can just, if you're going to fast, make sure to have electrolytes. But the science is still out. Also, unfortunately, a lot of science is out for men, not women, and that can really disrupt our hormones. So I think it's a fascinating realm of study with some benefits. Jury's still out. Do what works for you.
Yeah. I really agree, though, with if you're someone that even, if anything, tends to feel the need to constantly snack or something like that, it really helps. That's originally why Michael and I got into it a couple years ago, was because we would eat the minute we woke up till when we went to bed. And so we started reading the benefits of just doing like a classic intermediate fast. But I noticed it really helped me not snack in the mornings. Yeah. And like I would just have coffee, like LaCroix, whatever. But I am somebody that snacks a lot and eats a lot in general. So it really helped me just not overeat and not overconsume. Whether I was hungry or not, it was just like a habit, and I still have that habit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just being okay with being present.
Yes.
Next up, cauliflower everything. You want to make cauliflower crust, cauliflower pizza, cauliflower fried rice.
Yeah, quit it. I hate that. I think it's disgusting, and I'd rather just have the rice.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it like not, you know, I'll have like brown rice or something. Like I'd rather just have whatever I was going to eat, the pizza. I mean, cauliflower pizza is not that bad. I don't think so. But then I'm like, if I'm doing pizza, I might as well just do pizza.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view it. But I see a lot of people when they need help like reducing their carbs or just want a little healthier of an alternative. I get it, cauliflower. But for me, I just hate how it tastes.
That's fair. You know what does slap though?
What?
Fried cauliflower. You know the buffalo fried cauliflower bites?
No, I've never had them.
Oh, so many like vegan places, instead of like buffalo chicken wings, they have like the buffalo, you know what I'm talking about? Like buffalo fat. That slaps. And it's not like it, and it's like, it's just like having a fried pickle. I'm not like, it's like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
There's this place in New York. I don't remember the name. I used to be obsessed with it, and it's like Asian fusion vegan. And I went with Gymshark for like a team dinner, and I was like, I don't think I would choose this place on my own. And then I tried it and was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And everything was vegan. And I went back multiple times with Michael, my friends, and everything. And they had, it was like Tim Tam or something, like cauliflower.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing on the menu. So you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Sometimes.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
Well, then speaking of food, Swedish food.
Love.
Really?
Love. Now, there's some Swedish food I still haven't had the balls to try because I got a few odd items.
Wait, no pun intended. Swedish meatballs.
Love. Oh, so good. So good. We've done, like, you go, and we went to this one place in Stockholm that's just like this kind of like bougie place because Stockholm's very bougie.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, just think of like, you know, you hear all the stories of like Sweden having these tall, beautiful women and men, and like, it's not, they are, but it's not like what they paint it. Stockholm's like that. Everyone's tall, beautiful. Every shop is gorgeous. Everything is just like dystopia, but beautiful and quality of life. Anyways, we went to this one place that has like this authentic Swedish meatballs, and you have mashed potatoes on the side, just like you see at IKEA, lingonberry sauce, and then you have sweet. They make it differently. They make their meatballs differently, and then me and Megs have made them the traditional way. So good. And even like some other Swedish thing is like Swedish like open-faced shrimp sandwich. So it's like a piece of rye bread with just like a mound of shrimp and mayo and like some pickled fruit, a lot of dill. So good. Some other things, a lot of pickled, a lot of like smoked salmon, a lot of seafood, which I love. And like the rye bread, you've probably seen it. It's like the big round one. You know, like Wassa crackers?
No.
They're like the square high fiber crackers.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like that. That's like a lot of sweets. And so Meg's always made this, and you get like the rye. It's like this big, massive cracker. You just put butter on it and some like meat. I don't really eat cheese, so I don't put cheese on it. And at first you're kind of like, oh, this is plain. And then you grow to crave it. But
it's one of those.
The best thing about Swedish food, Swedish candy. You know what? I'm not even Swedish, and I will debate. I guess I'm a resident now, but like, not born and raised in Sweden. Swedish candy might be the best candy on earth.
Like Swedish fish?
No. So how they have candy in Sweden is they have these candy stores, or they have little sections in all the grocery stores, and it's just massive bulk candy. Like, and all you do is you get this big tub, and you scoop out whatever you want, and they weigh it. But each thing, like, they have specific Swedish candies. So it's not just like this random, you go to Bulk Bar and it's just random cherry blossoms, and they have all these specific kinds, and they're all like premium. And like, I never noticed the difference until I have just like regular milk chocolate in Sweden, and then have a dairy milk back in North America, and I'm like, like, I love a dairy milk, but like I can't have it for like 2 weeks after Sweden. I was like, it's superior.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So me, Swedish food.
You know what I think of with Stockholm? Stockholm Syndrome by One Direction.
Yeah, a lot of people think
Great
things
song.
like that.
Great song.
This also says the difference between her. I think I almost have this tattoo. I will get soon, Somewhere in Stockholm by Avicii.
Oh.
That's what I think of. Also, unbelievable. Underrated. Possibly the most underrated Avicii song, Somewhere in Stockholm.
Do you even have a tattoo?
I'm getting it right there. I have. Remember, we have similar tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to get it right there or there.
Ooh, down there would be really cool.
Yeah, so I have this rule of I get tattoos like wherever it's something meaningful, but I have to get it there. So I had to fly back to Halifax because this was a Halifax-based one, and the next one's supposed to be Toronto, so I have to go back to Toronto.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's why
I like that.
I don't have them planned, because I guess I could get them anywhere, but that's the point.
I like that. You should do it.
Yeah, so I'll get it. Is it me?
Okay, no, I think it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's you.
Yeah. Activated charcoal, whether it be toothpaste in drinks, That whole trend.
Quit it. I don't even care. I don't know. I've heard some people really like it. I hear it's like really good for your gut health, even your skin. I could not care. I don't know. I just don't care about it. I've tried it. It's not my thing. But I don't think it's bad. I think maybe I just haven't fully given it a chance to flourish with me. Yeah, I just can't be bothered by that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't care less, but I won't lie. Some of the stuff, like some of the drinks, they look cool.
They do look
That's
cool.
the only reason I buy it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay. What are your thoughts on aloe yoga?
Love. It is so expensive, though.
I was going to say,
just
so hit it or quit it.
Hit it, but moderately.
I was going to say, it is like more expensive than Lululemon.
Anything.
Yeah, why? Why is it so expensive?
And I've been buying aloe for about, I want to say I got my first pair like 7 years ago. Like I've been on aloe stem for like a long time. And it was on par with Lulu. And I was kind of like, oh, it's the LA Lulu. And then suddenly 2 years ago, just doubled in price. Like $210 Canadian versus like just, I think it's like $210 Canadian for leggings versus it's like $100 Canadian for a pair of Lulus. Similar quality, but everything that I get from there. So I have a package waiting at home right now. It's literally sitting in front of my door and I'm praying no one steals it. It's just sitting there.
You can't ask someone to grab it? Do you know your neighbors?
Yeah, that's why I trust them all. But I'm just saying, it's just sitting in front of there. So
wow. Okay.
Neighbor test.
You know, I heard my friend Morgan used to be a aloe yoga athlete. Ooh. She's a yoga instructor. Yeah. And she said it was very similar, like had just kind of gotten popular online. So it really relied on athletes and influencers, similar to like what Gymshark did to build out and Vitality and everything. And then she said it slowly transitioned to getting celebrities.
Oh, yeah.
And she said they'd always go on these retreats and all of a sudden these celebrities started coming and like they weren't allowed to have their phones out or they weren't allowed to like be in the room with these people and they were doing shoots. And she was like, oh, this is weird. And then it transitioned to like they really solely focused on celebrities and it got so big and went into retail. But she said she knew them before any of that happened. I thought that was interesting.
I also think they did the smartest thing I've seen happen. Remember how big Victoria's Secret models were? Like, they were the it girls. Like, everyone wanted to be. And when Victoria's Secret, like, ended the Angels, Aloe scooped them all up. It was just, I remember the timing. It just suddenly went from they all were wearing Victoria's Secret and they all wore Aloe within, like, a week. And then because they were wearing it, all the other celebrities. And I was like, I don't know how much they paid those girls. But that might have been the smartest thing they ever did. I was like, you knew.
You knew.
Okay, next up, John Mayer.
Hit it. Because I don't really like him now. Yeah. Like, in the sense of, I feel like he throws a lot of shade to my girl Taylor Swift, and therefore...
That's why I said it.
Yeah, I don't really care for him at this moment. I heard he, like, made a comment about one of his recent songs, saying it was about her. And, but I love his old music. I went to a concert, to see, do you know who Phil Phillips is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to see Phil Phillips, but he was opening for John Mayer. And I had never really known John Mayer's music, but it made me fall in love with it, with how he performed. And, like, I just think it's so calming. Yeah. So I will always love John Mayer. It's, like, comfort music. Yeah. So hit it, but quit his attitude.
Love the music, don't like the artist.
Yeah.
One of those moments.
Dear John. Okay.
Great song.
Hit it or quit it, Goop.
Hit it if you're rich. Quit it if you're not. Like, it's one of those things. I've had a couple Goop products, and like I said, I did a whole video on it. A lot of it is catered towards rich women that have disposable income that, like, don't care if they piss out 90% of the benefits. You know what I mean? They got money to piss out. Versus most of us, we got to be, like, mindful of every supplement we buy. It's like, is this actually beneficial? Versus they're playing, like, a different level. They're like, I'm trying to live as long as possible, make sure I never have a wrinkle. I will spend as much money as possible. And they're in that world. And she needs a new word for detox. But then some of the Goop stuff, I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's entertaining. They're testing things. I'll take that. I was like, take Goop with a grain of salt. They're like, I wonder if vagina steaming is beneficial. Let's test it. And I think they get roped in with saying they're promoting everything. Versus, like, I test things I don't believe in. I just test it to see.
Yeah.
So I think it depends. Goop is not for the regular human.
Yeah.
It's for LA rich Pilates moms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But honestly, since the trial, I like Gwyneth more. I was like, she's in on the joke. I think she's in on the joke.
What did she say to him when she walked away? Have a lovely life.
Yeah.
Have a nice life.
Yeah.
You take care or something.
Something like around those lines.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
What did she win, $1?
Yep.
Yeah.
She sued him for $1. So honestly, the fact she's in on the joke, I'm like, I'm kind of Team Gwyneth. I won't defend everything she does.
Yeah. She did a power play on that one.
Yeah.
Props to her.
Barry's boot camp.
Quit it.
I know.
I hated that thing. Don't really like, I like loud music when I'm in Soul Cycle. I like loud music when it's dark and like we're all seated somewhere and I feel comfortable. Barry's was like loud music, him screaming at like two different people, like two different sections. And I just felt overwhelmed and I felt like I couldn't get a good workout in. I feel like I'm not that much of an anxious person. And then sometimes I think about situations and I'm like, oh no, I can be. I have this like trait in me that's like, if I'm not in this zone, I'll handle it, but I will just not feel comfortable and like just know how to prep in the future. Even I think of, for this trip, I bought melatonin, which I don't usually, but when I like my first couple days of like adjusting to not being home with Bentley and Michael and like not being in my, bed and everything, I'm like, I need help because I get anxious and then I'll sleep shitty and then it'll just like snowball. Yeah. So yeah, quit it. I
have a new life goal because I realized something about Sav.
What?
So loud music is my love language, and just going and dancing and raging. I pushed around. I just live for that, and I know that's your like hell on earth. So my new life goal is that to DJ at night. I'm never going to drag you to a nightclub.
Oh, just I'll go with DJ.
But I was going to say, I'll never drag you. Just you and me. We're going to be in the mosh pit. My goal is to be DJing in Vegas, so you can be in a comfortable spot behind the booth or your own little bubble, and you can sit there. She's got her own space and no one bothers, and the waiter will bring her a drink, and she's corralled. And so I'm out here trying to expand my DJ career so you have a safe place in the VIP booth.
Thank you.
That's what I'm working towards.
I think of Ashley recently sent me a video. She weirdly ended up in the VIP booth with Marshmallow.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Her friends were like good friends with him, which she was so funny. She was like, I didn't know what he looked like. And so I didn't know when I met him who he was, which I'm like, classic Ashley Flores. But she sent me this video being like, I thought of you. And he played Love Story by Taylor Swift. And she literally in the video, she's like, Sav's gonna love it. And it made me laugh because I was like, how are you back there? And she was like, I don't know. Somehow we were roped in with like that. He was like, I think she said like, we were the hot bitches or something. Like just because I was a hot girl. I will be your hot girl, Keltie.
Please do.
I will be the hot girl.
And I'll play you Love Story remix with a little dubstep.
Then I'll be like, crowd surfing!
They'll be like, wait, what?
Yeah, I will go to a club. If they play like Taylor Swift, like I will be in the mosh pit. But yeah, I mean, I will go to a club if I have to. If people are like, we're going, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But I will have to be extremely intoxicated to just stand there at a club. And I'll be like, turn it down. Or I'll be like, tell me about your life story.
And then the club's like, no.
Yeah, we had some friends that asked us to go to San Juan to go to an EDM concert, and Michael like laughed out loud. He loves EDM. He would love this.
Yeah,
I don't. And he was like, Sav would never do this. And I was like, oh, thanks so much for inviting us. And we were already hanging out with him the night before. I was like, I can only go out one night of the week. And they were like, no, do the EDM one then instead. And I was like, no. And Michael's like, you don't understand. This girl does not handle music when it's loud. And they're like, oh, no, I swear it was calm. It's not really EDM. And I'm like, that's EDM in my eyes, people. Okay. Hit it or quit it. Clutter.
Yeah, not a clutter person. That's why I'm a minimalist, just because I hate clutter. But I'm also not an obnoxious clean freak. Like, like some people move something, they're freaking out. I'm not like that, but I like things. So I just like no clutter. I just like everything to have a purpose. So
does your home, you like never share it online? Even I don't know what your home really looks like.
Yeah.
So do you have like photos or like frames? Like what does it look like?
My apartment's empty. There's a couch, there's a desk. And like I don't like it this way, but I've moved so much that like the thought of having like a little plant or a little figurine, all I think about is like, I'm going to throw that away in a year because I don't want to have to package it up. So like I've just moved so much that like clutter or just a little clitter. I could make a really bad joke, but it's just like weighs me down. And so like eventually I dream, and I love art. That's the thing. I'm an artist. Like I respect it. I love beautifully decorated homes, and I've just accepted. I'm like, one day I'll have my forever home and I'll decorate it beautifully, and we'll have little knickknacks and cute art. But for now, I'm like, a white wall is really nice for thumbnails. So
that's true.
Yeah, so I'd rather not spend money on there. So
all right, fair enough.
No clutter, easier to clean. HelloFresh.
I've never tried it.
Any of those competitors too?
Once again, I've never tried them, but I think I would hit it. Yeah. They asked me to do a partnership, but because I live in Puerto Rico, they can't obviously bring it to the island. Yeah. So they're like, just let me know next time you're in the States. But I wanted to try them. So I would say hit it because I don't mind cooking. I've gotten pretty good at it, but I hate like trying to find all the ingredients. So I love the fact that they have everything prepped, and you can like order, I think you can do like servings of 4 if you want it meal prepped. A lot of my friends use HelloFresh and they love it. So I would hit it.
Yeah. Respect.
Okay. Hit or quit it. Small towns.
Respect it. Quit it. Just like I wouldn't want to live there. Nothing wrong with it. Like I feel they live a happier life. Definitely. Yeah. But like even when I go back to Edmonton and I crave it and I miss it. Edmonton is a very small town feel, and I get it's a big city, but anyone who lives there understands it's very spread out. And I get bored so fast.
But here's the question. Yeah. Not your hometown.
Yeah.
Would you ever live in a small town, even in Sweden?
Yeah. So
that's where the concept of a small town.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of like, no, because I think it would get bored so fast.
So you always live in a city.
I'll live in a small town if there's a big city next to it. Like, for example, Malmo, for example, I know Malmo's a big city. People would be like, Malmo's pretty massive, but like we're also across the street from Stockholm. And right now we're in Sundsvall, which is smaller. It's a little too small for my well-being, but we also aren't there all year round. So it's fine. And we're like super close to Stockholm. So like if I needed a job opportunity, I could just go down there. I'm in this phase of my life where I'm like, I just want action and opportunity at all costs. And you know what, maybe in 20 years when I have kids, I'm like, small town Spain, let's go. I've burnt myself out. I want no noise. But
that's fair. That's
fair. I think one day I could end up there. Okay. But I get bored fast.
Yeah. I get that.
So quit it. But respect your lifestyle. You're probably happier than me. Tracy Anderson.
Quit it. I can't stand that class. But I think it's great for people that are like dancers. Like my friend Sam loves Tracy, worships her classes. She's a dancer, so she like loves that atmosphere. I cannot stand dancing, and I did not understand the concept half the time when we were dancing. And that Keltie and I, if anyone's new here, did a Tracy Anderson class in New York, and we looked like doofuses, and we were wildly confused half the time. It was fun. I love that they don't talk. Yeah. I love that, and I love that they blast that music.
Yeah.
But I would just quit it because it's just not my form of exercise. And I just think sometimes her ads can be very cringy.
Yes.
I'm like, you're telling me you got that with ankle weights? I don't think that would work for my body type. Maybe work for someone else's. Would not work for me. With that being said, hit it or quit it. Fitness YouTubers. And let me say, because you are under that category, but as your own consumption.
Oh, no, I don't consume any fitness YouTubers.
So quit it?
That's like a hard thing. Like I guess like if you're like, I have to unsubscribe to every fitness YouTuber. I was like, yeah, it's just because it's one of those things. It's like, what? I can't watch it and not think of work. And like, and also like, I guess like the only time I'd say like hit is if I want to work out. Like those only, but like consuming it as like a fitness challenge. I'm like, and then I also like feel bad. Like it's work for me. I'll watch them because I'm like, oh, it's cool, and this is kind of what some techniques they're doing, or these are the jokes of the community. So like I watch it from work, but like I never watch. The only like fitness YouTuber I watch after hours, lack of better terms, would be like Cody Trains, which is like a comedian. It's not really a training one, but I never got into YouTube for fitness YouTube. Okay, so that's why I'm like, I just do fitness, but I still don't even consider myself really a fitness YouTuber. Like the world I know I am. So you're like, what are you talking about? But I'll one day show my subscriptions. That's what we should do on podcast. Talk about our YouTube subscriptions. You'd be like, oh, I get it. Earthing, otherwise known as, like touching grass.
Oh, hit it hard. Hit that grass. Like grounding. I believe in a lot of that. I believe in like being connected to like your environment, the energy, growth around you. I'm a weirdo in Puerto Rico with that kind of stuff. I think it's important, and I feel like I've learned over time you should prioritize that because everything fades. Concrete, I don't know, everything's just like so mundane where like life and energy will like replenish you. That's hippy dippy, but I really do believe in that.
every Sunday I force myself to go walk in nature, and I'm always like, ugh, and I leave. I'm like, oh God, you needed that. We're just like walking plants. We need to be around nature.
Yeah. No, honestly, living in Puerto Rico, like, has made me so happy. I loved New York, don't get me wrong, but like, there's something about nature I'm never bored with. Like, people will say like, oh, I don't know how you live there. Like, because I do live in a small town, and we chose that because we didn't want to live in a city. You know, when we do live there, we wanted to like have a big community and like go running and feel safe and have like a backyard for Bentley. And so I don't know, I've just really grown to appreciate, like, I can do anything I want with the environment, and it's just quiet.
Love.
Yeah.
Love. My last one for you.
Oh wait, it's my turn.
Is it? Okay,
yeah,
just kidding.
girl.
Oh yeah, true. I'm just so excited to ask you.
Okay, hit it or quit it. Wellness TikTok. Because obviously you love hydration TikTok.
I haven't been on TikTok in 3 months, so I have no idea.
Okay, let me give you a different one then.
Okay, because I will say the only reason I even know hydration TikTok is because everyone in the office came in, because I'm the girl who tells everyone to drink water. Michaela, go drink some water. And they're like, Keltie, have you seen hydration TikTok? And so I just slowly searched it, but I've deleted TikTok from my life for the last 3 months.
Okay, then hit it or quit it. Bodybuilding.
Respect any sport people love. Quit it, because I did quit it, and I think it will forever warp your sense of what your body is. Once you go that lean, you'll never feel lean, even if you are too lean for the average human. You've seen like obnoxiously, and I get why some people love it and they think of it as a form of art, and they get to create their body like you would a painter, and that's what I was like, I respect it. But the reality is a lot of it, it's a very unhealthy sport. So the irony to it being in the health and wellness when potentially it's most unhealthy when you get to the end of it, and every bodybuilder would agree. So I think you just really have to realize, if you're going to do it, you are also sacrificing your relationship with your food and your own body, because you will never look at it the same, in my opinion, my own personal and all my friends' personal experience. But at the same time, I think sometimes it's nice to have a challenge and work towards it, but you can like sign up for a 10K or a marathon. I think is potentially better for you.
Like, you might see more growth in all aspects if you do that, opposed to a bodybuilding competition for you.
I think for me, unless you're a professional athlete, fitness is just a part of our life, and it's a great way to like, I think it's really nice to every once in a while challenge yourself, have a goal, work towards it, and you can build grit and willpower, and that's like a muscle you build, and like getting your confidence, and that's something bodybuilding can do. And you have a goal, you work towards it, but there's something all-consuming and selfish about bodybuilding, that like everything you eat, every workout, like so your sleep, so much for someone, and it's expensive. I was like, I don't know if the cost is worth it, versus like signing up for a 10K. You still got to commit. You have to get there 3 to 4 times a week. Your nutrition has to be relatively dialed in, or a marathon, even like an ultra marathon. I would debate an Ironman is just as selfish, like the amount of hours you have to commit and away from family or work and nutrition dialed in. So those extreme sports, maybe do once in your life. Like, I'm glad I did it in some ways, but also I'm like, if I didn't do it, so be it. So I'd say quit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Tabata.
I'd probably quit it just because it's not really my style anymore. But I've done it. I'm indifferent. Have at it.
What's the in between? Quit. I quit it. It's kind of quit and hit. Quit it.
Yeah, quit it. Quit it.
Quit it.
Okay, my last one is America.
Love America. Sometimes you guys are crazy, but my God, you're entertaining.
I just feel like Canadians always like make jabs constantly at Americans, so I'm always like, I feel like I secretly hate it.
We don't, but we're in this weird situation where like we respect you, we love that you protect us, but sometimes you make the world hate you, and we get caught in the crossfire. So we're like, so for example, if the world gets bombed, we're coming down with you. And we had no say in this. Yeah. But at the same time, if we're getting bombed, you guys are going to come help us, save us. So we're okay with it. Yeah. So we accept that we're up here, and we try to be friendly and not make you mad at us. No, we're just like careful not to make you angry.
This is what I would describe from the past, not you, but some past Canadians I've chatted with. Yeah. The best way to describe how a Canadian talks about America in general is backhanded compliments. Because you guys are too polite to actually say anything to our face. So it's like a backhanded compliment. Being like, And everyone knows really what that is, but like that's how I view it. Sometimes when people make a comment, it's like, oh yeah, you guys are great at this, but, and there's always that.
Oh yeah,
that's how I describe it.
I guess that would be fair. I was like, and you guys probably say the same about us, and it's a weird relationship.
It is,
because for me, like some of my favorite places, like Vegas. Oh my god, I love Vegas.
How's your favorite place?
I love it when I'm like DJ music. You know what I mean?
No,
like that's my goal. That's
yeah.
my goal. And like I love going down to LA, and we have a trip to Miami, and like I love even coming down to Houston. Like I love America, but it's just this funny thing of like I forget we're not in America because like all of our news coverage is about you guys. Like even like when you, for example, here's the best way to describe it: when you guys, it's your president, I am sitting up watching it too. Like I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? And like we're sitting there, and then like people sometimes get mad at me if it's like, what side are you on? It's like, I don't know, I can't vote. Like it's like, does it matter? And then like every once in a while I'm like, oh yeah, tomorrow I have to vote for my prime minister. Like we pay more attention to your guys' stuff, and then we get stressed out about your guys' own, and we're like, this doesn't actually involve us. But all my money is made in American. A lot of my friends are American. I love America. But
There you go.
Sometimes you guys are crazy, and I just have to sit up from top and be like,
a backhanded compliment right there.
I don't think it's backhanded. That was just literally saying, I was like, sometimes you guys are crazy. We sit up at the top and go, oh.
That literally is though, if you think about it.
That's
You
not
saying, we stay up. We like it though. We want you to take us with you if you succeed. But you're a little crazy.
I guess it is, but it's just more.
It's not bad. I just think it's funny. That's the like epitome of what I meant.
But my irrational backhanded compliment is something that's like you say it's a compliment, but it's actually mean. I was like, no, that was just saying like I love you guys, and that's completely. But then I was like, but on the flip side, so it's just like sometimes you guys are crazy. Those are two separate things.
Backhanded compliment. Agree to disagree.
But I was just like, I love you guys, love America, so my friends. But like I said, I think you guys would agree amongst each other.
Oh no, Americans are crazy. Yeah. Absolutely.
So sometimes it's just like watching the fire burn from out top. So sometimes I feel like we have fronts. Okay, here it is. Sometimes I feel like we have front row seats to the fire.
Maybe we see it as, you know, when you have a sibling and someone, you're like, ugh, like my brother Zachary. I'm like, ugh, Zach is crazy. But then if my, you know, peers or my friends are like, Zach is crazy, I'm like, only I get to say that about my brother. That's how I feel with it. Being like, yeah, we know we're crazy, but only we get to say we're crazy.
See, here's how I would view it. Your parents are yelling at your older brother and they're screaming in the other room and they're in this mad fight with each other and you love them both and you're just sitting there in the other room, you can't do anything. You're just watching it and you're like, I love you all. It's good. Like, I kind of have to pick a side, but I don't know whose side. And like, it doesn't matter whose side because I'm the younger sibling. Like that's how I feel America. Like we're in the family, but we're watching our family fight.
There you go.
That's how I feel it is.
Okay. That makes sense. All right, we thought we'd end with a question from one of you guys. Said, hi, love the podcast and love listening to you guys during my morning workouts. That makes us very happy to hear. Would be interested in hearing your opinions on the TikToks going around saying most female fitness influencers are on steroids. It feels like it's all over my For You page that female fitness influencers are on steroids like Anavar. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
And no one ever talks about it. What are your opinions on this? Have you guys tried them? And being in the fitness influencer space, would you say this is more normal and just not as publicized? No judgment, just curious. Thanks for taking your time to read this.
I think it's more normal than you think for men. Like definitely for men. Women, no. I think what ends up happening is it's this weird thing if like a woman has muscle, they're just like steroids because that's kind of what we think with guys. And like, here's my defense and kind of how to figure it out because there definitely is. There's probably some girls just like girls in bodybuilding and some you might not realize who are, and there's other things they can be taking aside from like that's just one form of them. I think you got to look into a couple things. Is it just this girl's ripped abs? Do you know what I mean? Like, and she's always abs, and you're like, how is that genetic? And like, you look at the rest of her, and it's like, oh, she's like average quads, and that. I mean, like, she just might not carry fat there. Like Lucy Davis is a great example of someone who always gets accused of taking steroids because she's just got this ripped six pack. But like, she's even open. She's like, I carry all my fat around my hips, and like, if you look, she's got like big quads because she works out like ton, but like, she's not this shredded, defined. Like, I think that's really it's like the big muscle, the massive. Like, even when they're lean, they keep the size. That's usually the indicator. I feel a lot of these girls who get accused of it are just short. You know what I mean? The shorter you are, the easier it is to look bulky or put on muscle because you just don't have as big muscle bellies. Like, that's why like a lot of these, some people I have as much muscle, but I'm just like long and lanky. So like it would take so much muscle for me to get jacked. That saying, if I suddenly show up in like a year or two and I'm jacked, the only way that could happen, another thing, like I'm saying, just stuff to think about, like versus people just see jack girl, steroids. I think I was like, did she build these muscles? We see some girls, and you even showed me, it was like, do you think this girl is on? I was like, I don't think so, because like she's been training for 10 years, muscle maturity. Like you can only gain like 1, maybe 2 at the most pounds of muscle a year, but after 10 years, 10 pounds of muscle on someone who's like 5'6" is a lot, especially if they're doing a ton of progressive overload and if they're not super shredded. So you know what I mean? So sometimes they're a little fat, so they got the big quads and that's like the one girl you showed me. I was like, oh yeah, she's jacked, but she looks 5'2". And so you know what I mean? I was like, for all you know, I have more muscle in her. I'm just like stretched out like elastic band. So there's things like that. I think the only thing to ever like really keep in mind, if someone gains a ton of muscle really fast and stays shredded, that's where it's kind of like, spidey senses about it. That would be my main things to, I guess, look for. And the reality is we don't know unless we do a blood test. I just hope it doesn't become common, because especially for women, that can mess with your fertility like crazy. So I like the idea of people being told it's bad and why women specifically should not do it. But at the same time, it feels unfair that like a girl's muscular, it's like must be on steroids. I'm like, no, some girls have been training their butt off for 10 years. They're going to put on muscle. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really have an opinion on this. I honestly did not. I mean, it's obvious, like you said, with men. Yeah. You can tell who's natty, quote unquote, and who's not. That's very, liver king, whatever. It's like there's funny little, people come out and he lied about it, and then he came out being like, oh, I got caught, I do it. But it's like, no, duh, he did it. There's no way that man is that jacked. So it's just like using common sense with that, of being like do your research on it. I don't think it's talked about really. And maybe it's the space I'm in. I'm more often lifestyle. I'm not really into that. Like, I'm not really into the bodybuilding world. So it'd be interesting to ask somebody that was, because I bet it's probably more common there and like talked about. But my community and like who I really associate myself with are not on this. They just actually love to exercise, and yeah. And I guess we should reframe. I think the difference is it is massive in the bodybuilding world. Yeah. In the bodybuilding world, I think you'd be shocked how many women are on it. Definitely, that's massive. But fitness influencers, I feel most fitness influencers these days aren't bodybuilders. Yeah, I think there's a difference. There's the fitness influencer and there's like the bodybuilding influencer. Yeah. And the reality is the bodybuilding influencer, I think, not to like generalize, but I think, there's a lot of women probably on it. Just having like been in the bodybuilding world briefly, I remember, you don't know if it's rumors, but there was a lot of girls who took that stuff. Definitely. But in the fitness influencers, I'm like, definitely not. Because like, typically the average girl doesn't want a really yoked one. They just want like a girl's got nice muscle definition. You know what I mean? So you're not you don't need steroids for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But great question, and interesting to bring that to light. We'll have to do some research. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. Thanks for playing with us. Curious if you guys disagree on any of this, if you'd hit it or if you quit it. Don't forget to leave us a review on wherever you find us. And have a great day. Go better.